What's up, everybody? It's Lids, and we are back for some more Pyre. We messed up. We messed up badly. We definitely underestimated the essence, and they took advantage of us. Our, well, overconfidence? I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it, but we maybe should not have put Sir Gilman and especially Wolfred in a liberation rite so soon when we knew we were going against a difficult opponent. They made us pay. So it sounds like this is our last liberation cycle, our last chance to finally set one more person free. We gotta make it count. So let's keep moving. Sir Gilman, he was the one that we were trying to set free in that liberation rite just now, so let's see what he has to say. I'm willing to bet he's not so happy about that. You find Sir Gilman searching intently for something or other, his eyes shut tight. But what? Find Sir Gilman searching intently for something or other, his eyes shut tight, his brow furrowed in deep concentration. A little tough one. He only has one eye. Threw me off there. He acknowledges your presence in the most minimal way possible, scanning the environment. You shall have to forgive this night's impertinence to you, Master Reader, for he is on the hunt at this time. Using his acute sense of hearing, which is much more acute whilst underwater, but shall have to suffice in this case. He shall track down a most elusive character. A character who has eluded this knight time and time again, from whom this knight seeks to learn still superior evasive strategies applicable when next he may conduct the rites. Hold! Is that... You have no idea to whom he is referring when... Stick it up, worm! You're caught out! Could have wrung your neck just now, you know. Rah! This knight has failed again! Alas, Master Rookie, once more you have outwitted this poor knight and outmaneuvered him. Please, you must reveal the secret to your speed and cunning. Take it easy, chum. You're not half bad yourself. Besides, I was getting pretty sick of running circles around you all these slowpokes before you showed up while you were just out at sea. Do you truly mean that, Sir Rookie? But no, it cannot be, for this knight has nary seen anyone as deft and fleet-of-foot as you. Certainly, it must be advantageous to possess 4 feet, whilst this knight has but 1. If so, it may be called. And yet, we are all born with necessary means, and we must all make do. Oh, chum, you gotta stop being so hard on yourself, Homer. You ever thought maybe you ought to give yourself a break once in a while? Never! This knight deserves no break, not while there is honor to be gained. He is merely a worm, one of roughly 8 billion of his kind. Thus, he must strive to be remarkable and to exceed what is expected of him. Guess what, chum? You went in and did that already. I thought all you Sea Dominion types were just a bunch of meatheads who didn't care for nothing but a fight. But you've been downright decent. Even made me break a sweat a couple times out there, when I thought maybe we got somebody quicker on his feet than me. The point I'm trying to make is, it's been good having you with us. I always say, it's been worth having someone quick around to keep you on your toes. For a moment, you wonder if Sir Gilman is about to weep. Sensing the same, Rookie immediately changes the subject. Now come on, you want to go another round or what? There's some good hiding spots outside where I can show you how we curves get the drop on unwary passerby. In a very honorable way. This knight would be most honored, Master Rookie. As the two of them head off to further train together, catch notice of the Book of Rites there in the wagon. Rites, so stress trust and reliance on one's fellow exiles. The 8 scribes likely did not envision Sir Gilman and Rookie in particular. as conductors of their sacred tradition, yet perhaps theirs is the sort of kinship which they had in mind. Alright, let's see. Book is shining. What does it have for us? On worth. The fallen empire of Sar was ruled according to an ancient bloodline thought to be infallible. Our society shall instead be by those who earn the privilege. We, the Eight, cannot bear the burden of determining your worth. It shall be determined by your peers and by you yourself. We shall provide a framing through the rites, put you to the test, against yourselves, against your kin, against your adversaries. The downside cannot let us all go free. Thus, freedom to the worthy. As the worthy, your true calling then begins, as you return to a society that longs to learn the wisdom you have gained along your path. Worthy shall lead. It's kind of what Wolfred was saying more explicitly before. The leaders of the Commonwealth are those that have previously succeeded in being liberated from the downside. But anyways, let's get moving here. We have more rites to undergo. There's no time now to return to Moonlight Alcove as before, as the stars already urged you on. Everyone is ready to make haste for the Spring of Jomir. It's true. Usually we would stop there, but I suppose we can at least pay it a quick visit. Wolfred approaches you as you fly above his hidden lair at the Moonlight Alcove. You cannot help but wonder if you shall ever return there. Our dear alcove. I've asked my agents to break down the place. It soon shall be gone, if it isn't already. We shall not be returning. We've not the time to do so, anyway. And with YSLACH back among the living now, and no longer fond of me, I dare not think what he would do to me. Unfortunately, hiding places are of little value once they're found. Once all of this is over, those of us who do not manage to return, we shall find another place to live. Try to live, at least. Not a lot of positivity going around right now. Alright, sounds like we could really use a nice, resounding victory to rebound from that last defeat. And the dissidents. Let's keep our distance. Don't think we need to be paying them much mind at this point, thankfully. Because, well, the only other team has beaten us thus far. I'd like to avoid them to the extent that we can. Further south than this, where are we going? Is this far down? Wow. Well, we've been here many times. What are our options? The north route across Jomir Valley passes the remains of the Hive Titan. Sir Gilman suggests this may be the faster route, leaving you time for your vocations. Potentially, or alternatively, south route across Jomir Valley is riddled with barren rock and bone. Iso seems enthusiastic about the prospect of taking this route, but we don't know why. I mean, I think at this point, let's go with... Oh, actually, come to think of it, our vocations... So, if we take the small bonus for everyone, we've already gone through all of the quickness and all of the hope that we can give. And at this point, the only thing we'll have left would be presence. Not a huge fan of that one. We would still have the option of tutoring a specific person, but I don't know how keen I am on giving that a try. So maybe this is worth going this route instead. I don't know what it'll be. Because, yeah, I suspect it may be something like a talisman or something of value, which it's probably still not as good. Because I'm pretty satisfied with our talismans at the moment. I don't think that's the main issue. Or at least with our previous defeat, it wasn't. The little imp Tizo's keen sense for things now takes you far into the barren wastes of Fallflat. Keeping up with him proves difficult at times. All of a sudden, he begins to hop and screech. So once you help him dig up something right under his feet. You begin to dig in the vicinity, and soon uncover something long since buried, perhaps for someone such as you to find. Talisman. If banished while possessing the orb, the bearer has a chance to automatically pass it. Oh! Pass the orb. If banished with the orb. Huh. That does seem really powerful. And I wonder, if you level this up all the way, does that become 100%? Because that is a nice option for those characters that we use really aggressively, say Rookie or Sir Gilman, for example. If you're trying to dart forward with those guys and you make it far, but you lose it just in front of the enemy's Pyre, they then take the orb and would normally have somewhat of a lane, an open lane, to attack you. But if you can pass it off instead, assuming you still have other members of your triumvirate who are not banished, then that could be useful. It's powerful enough, and I think it ties in well enough to what we tend to do playstyle-wise that... Okay with that. Even if it means that we passed on the opportunity to pursue our vocations. It's one of the downside celestial landmarks, the Spring of Jomir, where we will conduct our rites soon against Udmildi, and last time we stop the wagon. Ow. What happened? Black Wagon has shuddered to a stop en route to the Spring of Jomir. There's some commotion, Fulford motions for everyone to be still. Think I know what's about to happen. There, ahead, it seems we have a visitor. Think it's gonna be one that we have seen precisely once before. He points into the distance. However, when you scan the horizon, everything is still. You see no sign of whoever Wolfred referred to. Still, he indicates caution. I am certain I saw someone directly in the road. A tense moment passes. Then another. Then, Wolfred tenses up. There he is. Look, there. Look toward where he signals, and then, at last, see the cause of his concern. There's no mistaking who it is. Yup, it's who I thought. YSLACH stands there, near motionless, atop some forgotten rock, jutting from the dusty wastes, a fair distance away. He stands directly on the path of your black wagon. Yet he shows no sign of acknowledging the wagon's presence. He appears only to be waiting for something, likely for you all. Wolfred gets your attention, quietly. Well, my boy, I'm open to suggestions here. YSLACH likely hasn't come to pay a social visit. YSLACH stands in your path. What should you do? You have a right to get to. YSLACH may wish to stand in the way, but can be made to move. Turn back. Confrontation outside the bounds of the rites is forbidden. YSLACH ought to be avoided, or hail him. YSLACH may be here to talk. If you reach out to him, perhaps you can communicate in peace. So, this is a tricky one. So he, bear in mind, is one of, if not the primary adversary that has led to the cycle of rites coming to an end. And hasn't been totally clear to me as to how exactly he's doing that. So that makes it a little bit difficult to determine how best to proceed. Because, I mean, he's faced off against us in the rites once, in which he basically just butted in and participated instead of our scheduled opponent. And I suspect that if we press forward, that might happen again. And he's very good. He's a really strong team, and they nearly beat us. So it's a risk, but I think that's maybe not the highest risk, because if we turn back, my assumption is that we might actually miss this right outright if we basically flee and are unable to do anything at all. So, I mean, we avoid him, but is that really a victory? I don't know. Or we hail him, and we attempt to negotiate and make peace. I mean, part of me is optimistic and wants to try this, but could also see it potentially being the most consequential, and that we are not avoiding him in any way. And like I said, I don't really know how exactly he is being so antagonistic, and so are we giving him an opportunity if we're engaging in open conversation with him? That may be, but I think we'll give it a shot. There has to be a way to reason with YSLACH, bridge differences between him and his former triumvirate. Perhaps he has come to negotiate. Oh no.
I am uncertain YSLACH is willing to be reasonable at this point, after everything he has been through, though I am hopeful you are right.
I mean, that is true. He seems to have gone off the deep end, in that once, supposedly, he was a very reasonable person, honorable person, but according to Wolfred, he's changed entirely and has become cold and vengeful. So, you may be right, Wolfred. This may not have been the right decision. Give the signal for the drive-ins to start the wagon and head toward him. Just as you reach the point where YSLACH once stood,
he has vanished. Surveying our strength, perhaps. His motives are plain, but his intentions unclear.
Indeed, YSLACH is nowhere to be found now. The unnerving encounter causes everyone to fall silent for the remainder of the trip. Okay. Maybe bullet dodge? I'm not sure. Your wagon finally arrives at the Spring of Jomir, where still there is no sign of YSLACH, or your next adversaries, for that matter. Yeah, could still be YSLACH coming in to replace them. Not sure. Your companions organize a quick search about the premises, leaving you to watch the wagon until the rite's commencement. Okay, we can talk to people, go to the slug market, and then we can commence the rite. Let's talk to people first. Oh! Hello! What are you doing there? Something is wrong. Someone is here, alone, with you. Hello? It's YSLACH. YSLACH seems to be examining various objects in the wagon. Whether he has noticed you, you cannot tell. What he is doing here, and how he got in unnoticed, cannot imagine. See? I mean, he's disappearing and reappearing. We thought he was dead, but apparently he isn't. Is he actually alive? Or is he a ghost? So there's some very ghost-like characteristics. I don't know. We haven't heard anything of ghosts in the past, so maybe I'm just throwing that out there, but maybe it's possible. You watch him go about whatever he's doing, examining all sorts of things that you and your fellow exiles gathered on your journey. He shakes his head. All of these trinkets, this wagon, it is most different now. Welcoming, and yet I am unwelcoming, it seems. In my own wagon. He directs his gaze at you, acknowledging your presence for the first time. You, a mere shadow. Tell me something. Who are you to them? YSLACH wishes to know your connection to the Nightwings. Say you are their reader, he may as well know the truth of it. Sense no reason to mislead him. I mean, we may have reason to mislead him. He is, you know, our primary opponent here, primary adversary who is most directly opposing us. Say you are their friend, your relationship to this band has grown to become more than just your role in the rites. Say you are no one, who or what you are is of little consequence, certainly not to the likes of him. Say nothing. Whatever he seems to be driving at, you can think of no compelling reason to comply. Honestly, there is probably a pretty sound reason not to respond at all. If we just want to be distrustful of him and not give him any opportunity to gain some sort of upper hand on us or use us to help him further his goals. So that's more intriguing than it's ever been, I think, to say nothing. But I think he'll see through this. That's pretty obvious that that's not the case. I kind of like how this is true, and yet it doesn't tell him the most critical details. So I'm assuming if he were to find out that we're the reader, then he'd find some way to use that information against us. Whereas we just say we're their friend, that might be enough to leave him feeling as though he got the information he was looking for, while still not giving him the dangerous information. So let's go that route. You tell YSLACH that you have traveled all across the downside with this group, and count them as your trusted friends. It is a different group now than in his day.
A friend, it is. Beware, then,
For the Nightwings do not always treat their friends with all due charity. Relay to them a message for Shadow. Tell them, I shall have my night. He strides right past you, toward the door. Then he turns to you again, once more. I shall have my night. Then YSLACH is gone. I mean, if we didn't think it was the case before, I think that certainly concludes or confirms that YSLACH is finding a way to participate in the next liberation rite, one way or another. And so, not sure it matters who is listed as the top team here. YSLACH is finding a way to take their place. And this seems like the first time that our room over here is closed off, our roster, so to speak, where we can't see everyone. I don't know if I've just never checked at this point in time before, or if that is truly different. Several of your companions return as you exit the wagon, explain what happened. However, none of them saw YSLACH.
I believe you, my boy. YSLACH, he is unwell. It is good you did not come to harm. Now, let's make sure the same can be said of the wagon.
Sabotage the wagon? You and the others conduct an exhaustive search in and around the Black Wagon for any signs of objects missing or tampered with, as well as signs of damage or foul play. Search yields nothing. No one finds any sign that anything was moved or tampered with. Even the drive-ins seem calm. The incident leaves you questioning your own recollection of what happened. Try to clear your mind, for the rite is soon now to commence. Yeah, I mean, that also seems to sort of lead into the... I mean, the ghost narrative? Maybe I'm going crazy here, but it seems like we're the only one who sees him. That's kind of ghost-like. Oh. Slug Market. Falcon Ron, help us out here. Hey, you guys, it's, how long's it been since I last told you you're my favorite customers, because, I just wanted to remind you that, it's definitely true, okay? So, come on in, I guess. Okay. I don't think that you have anything new here. We did recently gain this talisman, which, let's see, it's rank 15. We have enough to turn that into a rank 20? We do. I mean, outside of that, it's not like we have much in the way of coins at the moment, so unless we sell something, we would not be able to buy anything at all. So, I think we just call it. Nothing we can do there. Didn't see nothing you liked this time, huh? See anything I could afford this time? Alright, so I think no choice but to commence the rite, and I'm still uncertain as to, I mean, our opponents haven't showed up yet. Unless you want to call YSLACH our opponent, and so for that reason, I think there is still a chance we might be going up against YSLACH right now. Let's see. The mood is more dour than usual. You make preparations for coming right. Hush has fallen over your fellow exiles, and a sense of dread hangs in the air. At least one of your companions is unfazed. We sense the influence of one of our own. She is nearby. Her mind, corrupted, calls out, screaming. Canst thou hear it, perhaps? She speaks of Witch Udmilde, the adversary whom you expect to face this night. Expect, yes. Whether or not that will actually happen, we'll see. The witch, she doth revere ancient God, yielding this land and on her consciousness. We may attempt an exorcism, for the conditions are unique, and she may not be expecting us to be. However, 'tis a risk on her mind and my own, although a worthwhile risk, perhaps. Gertrude seems to think that Udmilde can be weakened somehow through the coming rite. Then, the stars begin to shimmer with their strange light. Here we go. There, the star of YSLACH. Our adversary worships it, and whom it represents. Fixate upon that star, freedom one. If thou darest invoke its power. Do so, and our adversary Udmilde, she shall be emboldened, but also not vulnerable to our own sorceries. We may yet limit her ambitions thus. Gertrude asks you to invoke the Star of YSLACH in this rite. We'll consider it, but I'm gonna have to look. Okay, so it's this one that looks like a ribbon, which I'm guessing is going to be far and away the most powerful one that we've seen thus far, but let's check it out. The Tattered Mantle. After your adversaries grasp the orb, their auras shall slowly shrink rather than vanish. Huh? Oh, our adversaries. Is that YSLACH though? Star of the Titan Imp, once slain by the traitor Calendar Ropecaller. Doesn't look like YSLACH. That's YSLACH. Okay, we've seen YSLACH before. Your adversary shall be more cunning and much quicker to react. Ooh, this is one that we were looking at in the past and wondering what exactly does that mean, because it sounds kind of intimidating in that, I mean, it sounds like they just generally play better. And that could be tricky to overcome. So, I mean, are we willing to take that risk, especially after having lost our most recent liberation rite? I mean, you could argue that these rites in between are not nearly as important, and for that reason, you can take the risks here as long as you make sure that you get things right in the actual liberation rite. So, I think it's a bad idea, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the chance. This could backfire big time. shall see.
The infamous raider returns, along with his remaining retinue of miscreants.
Yeah, well, it's the same size as before. Yeah.
Yet another one last time.
Yeah.
Your adversaries, the withdrawn. As with you, they must be very desperate for their freedom. They shall not make it any easier from here.
Okay. So I'm expecting them to be really, really good. Really powerful this time around. So I think we need to be very, very mindful of that with how we approach this. For example, I know we were talking about working Bullthread into things, but I don't think we can afford to do that now. That was probably the trade-off there, was if we were trying to go for YSLACH and activate that star, then we were going to have to pick our A team. Whereas if we didn't do that, then maybe we could consider working Bullthread back into things, but I mean, I'm very hesitant to call on him now after our not so great performance in that Liberation Rite. Yes! What have we here? We have returned once more unto our presence. Ah! We sense something among ye. Ooh! Bertrude slithers forth and gazes at her adversary. Thou, maggot, we should have known. But Bertrude does not respond. Nightwings, that one shall be of little benefit to you. That one's sorceries are a mere pittance to the overwhelming might of YSLACH. Soon we shall see. Yeah, I'm worried about it. I'm very worried about it. Reading one, thou invoketh the star of YSLACH. So then, beware. Through our sorcery shall Udmildi be cast into a hopeless doubt about her faith upon her god. It shall be done if we prevail, but only if. Our own minds shall perhaps be forfeit otherwise. Okay, so we lose Bertrude, or at least she goes totally insane if we fail, and she probably becomes like Udmildi over there. Yeah, yikes. It seems that through the outcome of this rite, either Udmildi shall be permanently weakened, or Bertrude shall instead. I don't know if that means that we have to choose Bertrude. Say anything on her name? It doesn't. So, I mean, the thing is, Bertrude is not really one of our strongest contributors, so I would normally not choose her. So if we don't have to, then I won't. Even though she's playing a part in this, it doesn't seem like she has to actually be participating herself. Let's take a quick look at the withdrawn. We have Udmildi, or I don't know how you're actually supposed to pronounce her name. Something like that. So while her Pyre has less life than ours, she deals more damage. I think she has the opposite too. Yeah, when she has more, then she deals more damage. So it's only when we have the same amount that she deals her normal 25. I mean, adding an additional 5 on top of that, that is a lot. 30? Udmildi's Aura Blast arcs in a wide angle, banishing adversaries in a larger area. Yeah, we've seen that. All of the crones have a really large banishment area. After Udmildi pounces at an adversary, she instantly recovers all her stamina. Okay, so this is basically the super banishment group. So having high hope is probably going to be key. Broken Soul. At the start of a rite, the adversary's Pyre automatically suffers -20. If you all have that, I'm going to be very angry. Bonus damage. Bonus damage. Okay, so we're going to start with 20 life less on our Pyre. And all of these guys deal lots of damage. They have items that let them deal more damage. Well, this is specifically when flinging it, not when walking in themselves. So that's a little bit better, potentially. But that hurts. The ability is slow. So there is that. Our strength is, I mean, it would normally be our speed, but also our maneuverability. I think in the past we used Pamitha to fly over them, and that was a really, really big benefit. Obviously, we don't have that ability now. I wonder if that means Tizo might be a meaningful person to have participate, because he does have the flutter. It's not as fast as Pamitha's fly ability was. That might be the next best thing we have, in addition to then using probably Ruki for his speed, of course, and then maybe Tay to round things out. Okay. I think we're definitely leading with Ruki, and last time around we tried doing this, and it was not so successful. Or at least our overall performance was not good. I wonder if, I mean, I don't know how much to attribute that to this, is the thing. I think we do leave this on Ruki, assuming that he will be our primary scorer still. So that will be key, especially since these guys have the ability to score a lot very quickly, and we'll be starting with a disadvantage. And then we use the paired rings with Tay and I think Tizo.
Choose someone.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ruki.
Alright, pressure's on. So I'm gonna go with Tizo. We haven't used him that much, but I think he is the right choice. I'm gonna take this away from Sir Gilman. Sir Gilman would probably be the next best choice, in that he is the speediest, but I have a little trouble controlling him sometimes with his speed. He has a lot of momentum, and so maybe not the best for this circumstance. And then Tay, who will take, well, what is this one again? Remind me? Bear has a chance to pass the orb automatically. You know? I mean, that might be a decent option, given that these are the banishment specialists. Having the ability to pass that orb could be crucial. We did just put one of the two paired rings on Tizo, so that's makes it a little tricky. So that means he's not getting the ability to get that infinite stamina out of it, which maybe isn't totally necessary. We could also potentially upgrade this here, and I think we ought to do that, because one way or another, that's going to be something that we want to do. 95% and 100% chance to pass that orb. Ooh. So you go for the infinite stamina and also giving Tay, ooh, audio out there. Oh, the game crashed. Okay. Alright. I'm going to try reloading it and see what happens. I'm not totally sure where it's going to take us. We can try. It was like, you are taking too long to make up your mind. Let's see. Where does it leave us? Don't remember where our last saving point was. We shall soon find out. Okay, commencing the right, it would seem. So we want, I guess you could say, we could change our mind and not invoke the YSLACH star if we don't feel confident about having made that decision. But that feels a little dishonest. So I think we continue to go about our plan the same way we were doing it before. Maybe that gives us the opportunity to swap out the talisman a little bit, like the one that we gave to Tizo, if we decide that that's not the direction we want to take after all, with having two people each using one of the paired talismans. But mood is more dour than usual as you make your preparations for the coming rite. A hush has fallen over your fellow exiles, and a sense of dread hangs in the air. At least one of your companions is unfazed. Okay, I'm going to skip through these because I'm assuming that all of this should be things that we've already seen and heard. Yes. Okay. Looks like that was all the same. And yep, starved YSLACH. So, if we want to, we can double back. But YSLACH, technically the way you're supposed to say it. Okay. I think we go for it. I'm very nervous about it. I'm not confident that we are going to succeed here, but give it a shot. See what we can do.
The infamous Raider returns, along with his remaining retinue of miscreants. Too bad you failed to rid yourself of yet another one last time. Your adversaries, the Withdrawn, as with you, they must be very desperate for their freedom. They shall not make it any easier from here.
Alright, and I'm assuming these, yep, should be the same things we heard before. Okay. Alright. You might want to just double check that the talismans that they have are the same. Make sure we're dealing with the same set of circumstances that we were dealing with before.
Who shall it be this time?
So I'm going to take a quick look. You're still using this. Friends are still using this. Okay. Does look the same. So I'm going to use Rookie with the Righteous Flame again. The idea there, I mean, or potentially could argue he's the one that ought to have this because he's probably going to be the one most aggressively moving forward. But I mean, sort of the same set of circumstances in which you want someone to have this as you want someone to have this. If you're successful with your scoring, then this is the way to go. If you're unsuccessful, then this is the way to go. So, I mean, let's go back to upgrading it so that we don't forget to do that. That would be bad if we forgot to do that and we were relying on that 100% chance only for it to be 75 and not trigger all the time. So, I think we take this. And then, if we do, we could potentially put this on someone else and then put this on the last person. Let me think then. Yeah, so this works best on Rookie, whereas this would work best on Tay, I think, because she has 20 glory and Tizo has 15. Yeah, so you put this on Tay, and then you put this on Tizo, I suppose. Okay, let's give it a shot. We're not going to have quite as much speed as we usually have. Put this on Tay, but we're focusing on the ability to gain our own life back on our Pyre. Because that is one of the things that they are doing. Because they're being really aggressive on that front. So here we go. Let's see what we can do. Tizo urges you all to face Milde without fear. Thank you, Tizo. We need that. Ah, now then, Nightwings. You wish to mock YSLACH. Your infinite foolishness shall be among the first to suffer. Okay. See what we can do.
The orb commence.
Oh, I totally jumped there. Totally jumped there. It was an interesting plan they had there. Okay, we did score. And we did get a little bit of our life back. Which is key. Oh, I walked straight into that. No, I walked into that too. Oh, okay. We did get rid of someone there, but look out. Okay, this is a key moment. Can we get there? We can. Oh, that was big. Didn't know if we were gonna be able to squeeze that in.
Now then.
Okay. Wanna try? Get a jump back! No! I rushed it too much. Get that.
The orb is up.
Oh. Oh no. Oh, I dropped it. Make go for it! That
Play by the book.
was close. I wasn't sure if we'd have the stamina to do it. Okay, but this is the thing that went wrong last time, was we started off strong, and then partway through, our opponents adjusted their strategy and it did not go well. So we need to make sure that we're locked in here and we can react. Yes, ye wretched ones. YSLACH, art thou even listening to us? Dost thou yet believe in? Thou must be out there, lest our purpose for existence. Such pain we shall inflict upon ye for this insolence. The scribes cannot protect you, and their ancient test shall all be for naught. Okay, don't totally know what to make of that. Ooh, just in time. Just in time. Wait for it. Make it? Yes. Okay, good. Good. Not quite there yet, though.
Now go on just once more.
Not quite. No! Didn't make it. That was devious. I will give you that.
Slips from your clutches.
Okay, I need my stamina back. Ooh, you're over there too. Nope. Okay. 1 for 1. Oh, that was devious. Okay, we gotta be quick here.
You haven't.
No, I keep on trying to jump, but I'm out of stamina. Ooh. Come on. Got it.
Flames of freedom.
5 left. Not quite there. No! Dropped it at the last second. I did get that from you. Okay, wait. Hide behind here. Nope. Still hiding. No! You are very aggressive with your passing. I will give you that. But I see this opportunity! No.
That was exciting.
Okay, wait for it. No. No! Oh, saved it. Last second there. Can we make it? We can! Oh, we did it. It was a tough one.
Night wings.
We did pull it off. Ooh, I think that was
Mayhap the scribe shall simply smite them down next time.
the kind of rebound victory we needed.
The ceremony is complete.
How can this be? How can this be? YSLACH, answer us. YSLACH? Witch of Milde continues with her screaming, having been defeated in fright. You observe Bertrude there, fixed in a meditative pose. There, would Milde relent. Thy God has not abandoned. 'Cause thy God is dead. Thy God is dead. Pray to him all thou likest. yet it shall do thee good. As Bertrude recedes into the shadows, Gudmilde slumps down, staring at nothing before her. Impossible. This cannot be. Answer us. Answer us. Gudmilde suffered -5 hope permanently. May the scribes have mercy. Alright, and Ruki is fully enlightened. And here they said old Ruki Greentail wasn't even gonna amount to anything. Ha! Not that they ever said anything like that about me, since, you know, I'm very well regarded where I'm from. By everyone, in fact. Hey. So, our final mastery with Ruki can jump a second or third time while airborne. Maybe. I mean, we don't jump that often. Mostly try to jump at the end when we're trying to score if we have any stamina left, which on this most recent rite, we had a few occasions in which I tried to do that, but ran out of stamina. So it could potentially be helpful there, but otherwise we have this. Ruki deals an additional 5 damage when plunging into the adversary's pyre. And that's very simple, but it is very powerful because he is such a great scorer. It's just that his damage is so low. His glory is only 15. So it's simple, but it's good. And I think for that reason, I do actually prefer this.
Praise be to Jomir many men.
And Tay is very, very close. As is Tizo, quite frankly. Rest shall remain the same.
Your sordid business someplace else.
Downside is a boundless purgatory into which the Commonwealth casts its convicts and its enemies. Alright. Whoa, everyone. Or almost everyone. Back at the Black Wagon, you find the lone minstrel examining your fellow exiles after they vanquished the Withdrawn with ease. Not sure I would say with ease. I mean, the score might have still been largely in our favor, but that was not easy, by any stretch. It is plain to you that none of them look well. Uh-oh. The lone minstrel notices you there and turns to you. Reader, the faster turning of the cycle of the rites has put a strain on everyone. We have multiple cases of banishment sickness this time. Okay, so Ruki, I'm assuming it's Ruki, Tay, and Tizo, the 3 people who just participated. Ruki and Tay, that hurts a lot. I mean, I was kind of expecting it to happen to Ruki pretty soon, because I couldn't tell you when the last time he sat out a rite was. Tay, though, not sure she participated in the Liberation Rite, did she? So, that surprises me a little bit, and then Tizo, this is the first time we've used him in a long time, so yes, I think, as the minstrel is saying, this is more so due to the acceleration of the liberation cycle, and that it's just hitting everyone, and not so much tied to actually how frequently we've been using specific people, which is the reason for it in the past. It is fortunate that your other companions are available to conduct the coming rite, because I fear that this group here requires rest. You bid Ruki a swift recovery, and he nods weakly in response. You exchange a look with Tizo, who seems exhausted after the last rite. As for Tay, it is clear to you she wishes to be left alone right now. You leave the lone minstrel to look after them, and turn your attention to the stars that remain shining, dark outside. Triple banishment sickness, that is tricky, especially with 2 of our key contributors. We don't have many left at this point, so it's gonna be a tricky, difficult rite upcoming here, especially depending on who we choose to go against. So let's see. The stars yet shine for you, revealing various paths forward. Gaze into the darkness of night, and let's seek out our destination. I believe, given the accelerating cycles, that this will be the final rite before the Liberation Rite. We only have 3 this time? More than that last time, I thought. Okay, so we can go against the Tempers, but again, I don't think we have much reason for going against them. I know we've only gone against them once, but I don't think we have much in the way of other things we're trying to figure out with them, other conflicts we're trying to resolve. And the Pyre Hearts, I know they have had that going on with Sir Gilman, but I thought that we did conclude that the last time around. There's a chance that there may still be slightly more. Let's see what this option is. Otherwise, we have Manly. And so, I mean, we probably ought to avoid him at all costs, on the assumption that to go up against him is to just give him more opportunities to further figure out our plan. So, I mean, that probably does leave us with the Pyre Heart. I would say they're probably the most difficult of the opponents we have remaining here. Bear in mind that we won't have Ruki, we won't have Tay, we won't have Tizo, so who would we be using against these guys who are the speediest of all of our potential opponents? We could use Sir Gilman. He is the fastest, so he can match their speed, but only him. So if him, then outside of that, I mean, there's Wolfred, who sounds like an abysmal choice against them because he is so slow. Then there's Bertrude, and when she sprints, she's not a snail, and he's good for banishing. Maybe she could handle them. And am I forgetting anyone else? I mean, might be everyone who's left, and that's not a great matchup there. Is making me a little concerned, what I'm getting at. So, I mean, at this point, we really need all the wins we can get, right? So maybe we do go after the Tempers after all. I think they might be the easiest opponent here. Granted, it's been so long since we last saw them that, for all I know, they've completely changed in the meantime, but sure, let's give them a shot. The triumvirate you shall confront this time around shall be the Tempers, led by the demon called Ignarius. They have prevailed in the rites on many occasions in the past. The lone minstrel then offers you such details as he knows of your next adversary. Ignarius, a long-time resident of the Downside, as evidenced by his appearance, the strongest of the Tempers, he has waited years to earn his freedom. Born to a middling Commonwealth family, he got into trouble early and often, found his calling in the Commonwealth's not entirely legal red light district. There, he took many jobs, most involving his sheer size. Most notably, he was a bouncer at the Starry Eight, where he came to symbolize its reputation, an infamous tavern in the Commonwealth. It is commonly believed that Commonwealth officials sometimes showed up incognito here to blow off steam. One day, a particularly belligerent guest got under his skin, so he gave him a tremendous thrashing. Club clientele all gave a cheer. However, this guest turned out to be a wealthy chamberlain, who then exploited his connections to have Ignarius arrested and then exiled. It was 14 years ago. In the Downside, Ignarius dropped his given name as sometimes the custom, and survived alone through his tenacity and strength. In time, he drew the notice of the Tempers, who revealed to him the rites, recruited him into their ranks, and let him work his way up. Now at last, it is his turn. Other than the Nightwings, the Tempers have liberated more exiles than any other triumvirate. They had high hopes for Ignarius, in turn. Now, good evening. You wish a good night to the lone minstrel. Your travels shall continue at first light. Alright, and... Whew, that was tense. I know the lone minstrel, or maybe just the narrator, was saying that that was an easy victory, but I think that was certainly not the case. But I'm happy that we did, in fact, emerge victorious and bounce back from what was not the best performance last time round. So, with that, that's going to wrap things up for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.